And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to this special presentation of Stony Brook Seawolves hockey, live on LI Sports Network at the rinks in Hauppauge, New York, on beautiful Long Island. And on this frigid, cold evening, it's the Niagara University Purple Eagles taking on the Stony Brook Seawolves on Seawolf Senior Night. Mike Colanger back and ready to bring you the action alongside my good pal of mine, Trevor Magnani. 2-week break, and now we're back at it for the grand finale for our home games this season, Trevor.
But call it a two-parter because we're back here tomorrow.
Absolutely.
As they'll play it again for the final home game of the season before the Seawolves finish on the road against Oswego. And a bit of scoreboard watching here for the Seawolves today. A lot of games in action here for the ACHL. We had Pittsburgh and Syracuse wrapping up a two-game set. Up in Syracuse, they had their senior night, but Pittsburgh played spoiler, winning that one 3-2 tonight, more or less securing the ACHL North Division with 29 points and 10 wins. Now, next week, when the Seawolves go over to Oswego to play a two-game set, they'll have an opportunity to pick up 6 points to bring themselves to 29 points. But I believe if I have my knowledge here right here, the tiebreakers will indeed go to Pittsburgh here as they have 10 wins.
You are certainly correct on that, Trevor, and I couldn't help but take a gander over to your monitor. You are looking at the Oswego game that's taking place at this very moment.
Yeah, poking a little bit at the Delaware Hockey Network there as they've got a presentation of that game going on. Delaware is skating along to what should be a easy 6-1 victory here as that game's just about to wrap up here. So this is the third in the three-game set of ACCHL games here, back-to-back. So if those of you watching at home there, you got 3 quality games of hockey here tonight, all for the low cost of $0. Take that, insert streaming service here.
You always have to get that last shot in, didn't you,
always
Trevor?
do, as I know it's been a hot topic this year for many folks here at the rink.
Well, if there's one hot topic to look out for, it's these Niagara University Purple Eagles. By no surprise, one of the top teams in the standings to come into this matchup, ranked 3rd in the nation for the ACHA, and perhaps one could say a pivotal matchup awaits for Stony Brook.
Absolutely.
As the history shows, they haven't had the best luck against the Purple Eagles, falling to them in 6 straight head-to-head affairs. However, 3 of those 6 head-to-head affairs coming at 1-goal losses. So for the Seawolves, how do you overcome such a challenge and finish off the season very strong before playoffs begin?
Well, I'm thinking about that first game up in Niagara. While it hasn't been as cold as it is right now, the Seawolves skated away with a 1-goal loss up in Niagara on day 1 of their 2-game set, and then fell in a much more decisive loss in the second day here. So if I'm the Seawolves there, I'm coming into this game thinking we've got more than a shot here to pull off an upset here. And an upset for the Seawolves could work wonders for them in terms of national ranking opportunities for them. As the computers would have it, this should be a Niagara win, and a Niagara win by a long shot.
Should Stony Brook pick up the upset win, it would be a massive impact on them down the road heading into the playoffs. Well, let's highlight
more than that, it could be an absolute game changer for the perspective of the team itself here. Thinking of a big win against a top 4 opponent. I mean, if that doesn't jazz you up, I don't know what will.
It's funny, we were talking with head coach Tom Waradian just a few moments before, and we talked about the likelihood of an upset. He thinks, in his words, anything can happen, even when he's throwing out his 3-headed dragon to start the matchup here tonight on the offense for the Purple Eagles.
So we highlight a bunch of the players here on our rosters here and stat sheets here, and every single one of them had a yellow highlight of some regard on them. And we'll save the starting lineups for when we come back from our break here. But some of the players that we want to keep an eye out here for Niagara, definitely Charlie Bellinger with 35 points. That's 19 goals, 16 assists. We have Aiden Callan, 21 points with 11 goals and 10 assists. And then number 8, Jacob Callan, with 20 points with 11 goals and 9 assists.
And when you look at the goaltending department, it comes as a surprise when you look at who is getting the nod for tonight. It's Jacob Dubinsky, a light record intact. One would say you go with Michael Calabre for this matchup, but Tom O'Radian is the one that's calling the shots here, and he's trying to instill some much-needed confidence in all his many goaltenders in this very big matchup tonight.
All right, we'll spin it over to the Seawolves here and talk about some of the high points here for the Seawolves here. We'll start over here with none other than William Kormanek.
Absolutely. Kormanek is no stranger to goal scoring. He leads the team with 41 points in 28 games played, and what better way to make an impact here tonight than on senior nights, as him, Malik, and many others will be celebrating the pregame festivities, and what better way to go home with, other than a win, than a couple points under your belts as well.
Absolutely. I mean, as the Seawolves are leaving the ice, we're going to unfortunately miss a bunch of them here as they skate off the ice here, as they get ready for the senior night festivities here. But other players to highlight here: Paul DeSaro, 38 points, 19 goals, 19 assists, a perfect 50-50 split. Justin Nakagawa, 27 points, 9 goals, 18 assists. And one thing to note there, 4 power play goals, shares that number with Paul DeSaro as well. Looking for the Seawolves to maybe find some magic here on the power play tonight.
They're 20% in that department. It's a area that they've all wanted to improve on, very much so, and what better way to do that and strengthen those numbers against a formidable opponent like the Niagara Purple Eagles.
Yeah, definitely want to highlight there just Robert Hyde there at number 88. 11 goals on the season here.
And funny to, oddly enough, he has no power play goals yet. Maybe tonight could be the night he scratches a number in that area for himself, but it'll be no surprise if that number does eventually come through for him, as he's been all so close on power play opportunities this season.
And last but not least, I want to give a highlight over to Charles Poirier over on the defensive side with 10 points this season. 2 goals, 8 assists, both of those coming on the power play.
He has brought a different type of energy to this defense, and that is the one thing Chris Garofalo, you can thank him for. Just the ability to recruit players that stand out, that he knows that can help and strengthen an area that needs improvements on. And Charles Poirier has done just that. 10 points in 26 games played. It's very interesting to note how great he is when he has the puck on his stick, the flash of brilliance he shows with his skating, and you'll see it soon, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, we'll take a final spin here just to go through some more of the national rankings information here as we head on into playoff season and nationals. Obviously, Minot State here, the dominant 22-1-2 record there, sits on top of the rankings yet again. And it's no surprise to anybody. That's a team that is certainly one of the favorites this year. Ohio at number 2 at 25-5, and then of course tonight's opponent, Niagara at 20-4, coming up from number 4 last week, leapfrogging Nevada, Las Vegas.
UNLV sitting just one spot ahead of the surprise, maybe the surprise of the year, Drury, 21-2. Independents, they're not part of a conference at all. They are an independent team, as well as Liberty, by no surprise, sitting there in the top 10 as well for the ACHA.
Yeah, one of the interesting stats here, and this is as I go through and build the stat sheets, I go through and look at the national rankings, and one of the interesting things they share is the average national ranking position of each conference. So you can kind of see at a glance who's strong, who's weak in an aggregate sense. And this is nothing to say of the strength of each of those teams individually, but you look at the GL6, the Great Lakes 6th Division, which has 7 teams, by the way. 6 of the 7 are in the top 25 here, and 6 of the 7 are 18 or better. The 7th team is Roosevelt, who sits down in 62nd in the national ranking. So a little bit of work to do down in that regard, but a big hat tip for the GL6 for being a overall incredibly strong conference. The independent teams overall rank 2nd in aggregate when you average their rankings together. And then for tonight and for our sake here, the Seawolves top the ACCHL as the top-ranked ACCHL team. So Stony Brook comes in this week. They're ranked 20th in the league. They were 21st last week, and if they can somehow pull a rabbit out of the hat tonight against Niagara, which statistically may be more likely than Niagara would hope for, that could create some very interesting upward momentum for the Seawolves on the ranking sheet. But the time for talk is over. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, it's starting lineups, senior night presentation, national anthem, and then puck drop here at the rinks in Hauppauge here for Seawolves and Purple Eagles. We'll be back in a bit here on Long Island Sports Network.
And we welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. Stony Brook Seawolves Senior Nights about to begin imminently as we await for the Seawolves to enter the ice before the opening ceremony gets underway. And we already have an idea of what that is going to entail. Roses, family members coming out to meet with the impending senior graduate players. It's always a beautiful sight to see before things get awfully intense when the puck drops afterwards. Chris Garofalo is going to take the role of the MC as he's done for most of these senior night festivities over the years. And he'll introduce some of the members of the entertainment staff, training staff, as well as the players too that will be graduating and their family members that are here tonight to support those that are being honored here this evening. As soon we'll turn the mic over to Chris Garofalo as we await for things to get situated before the ceremony gets underway.
Maybe a little bit of a miscue here on the show ops side of things here is waiting on the officials to get on the ice here as they finally skate out here, which then allows for the teams to get out here. So I think we were waiting on that to get the show on the road here. And now the lights finally come down here. We'll bring the Seawolves out here.
They're going to have to replay the track all over again. To be honest, I do like the impromptu entrance this time around. It makes the atmosphere a little more, let's call it, pressure-filled.
Gotta always keeping us on our toes here up here.
And now we turn our mics to head coach Chris Garofalo.
Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. Tonight is our senior night. We'd like to honor the seniors that are graduating. First, I want to thank the seniors for all the time and care and passion they put into the program over the years they've been here. And this year, starting out first, that's graduating with a business degree and a concentration in finance is defenseman Dylan Kowalski. Congratulations, Dylan. Next, graduating with a degree in health science and a concentration in emergency and critical care, forward Christian Malek. and graduating with a degree in economics, forward, and your captain, William Corbett! Congratulations, Will. We would also like to congratulate the following 3 players who did the ceremony last year, but we'd like to finishing up this year in the graduate degree or undergraduate degree. Please have come up Kyle and Stephanie, Joey Trizera, and Teddy Valente. Congrats, Shelly. Congrats, Teddy. Congratulations, Kyle. In addition, we would like to thank and congratulate Tia Gonzaros for graduating with a degree in meteorology. You've been a valuable asset to the team for the past several years with our social media and being on our league board. And we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the support and effort you've provided the team. Now we look at my phone to Crystal will announce the Ice Cruise graduating class.
Tonight we want to take a moment to recognize the work of those who are absolutely central to our program. Without them, the evenings simply would not function the way that they do. Tonight we especially want to recognize our graduating Ice Cruise seniors. Tonight we want to recognize Sophie. She's graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, a Tonight, we also want to recognize Candy. Candy is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Respiratory Care and plans to work as a registered respiratory therapist, providing care and support to patients across a variety of healthcare settings.
Congratulations to all the high school. Last but not least, I would now like to announce this year's Anthony Franzoni III Endowment Scholarship Award. Anthony was a former player of Stony Brook from 2000 to 2005 and passed away tragically in a car accident on October 1st, 2006. The Anthony Franzoni Endowment Scholarship is awarded annually to a Stony Brook University student who displays outstanding academic excellence and has made significant contributions to Stony Brook University's community through involvement in clubs, organizations, and athletics. In its 19 years of existence, this is the first time the award that will be given out is for $1,000, and this year's award winner is junior forward Justin Niagara. Presenting the award is Mr. Franzoni to Justin. Congratulations, Justin, on a well-deserved award. And that concludes our presentation. Let's play some hockey.
A wonderful ceremony comes to an end, and could you have named anyone more special than that player right there, Justin Nakagawa, to win the first ever honor? And the last couple of years, he has certainly left an indelible mark on this program ever since coming into the fold 2 seasons ago. And now we'll turn our mics once again over to the press box area, this time to Leon Bassett for the team's starting lineups.
Number 40, Jacob
two teams will, at least one team will go for one last skate behind the cage, that the Niagara University Purple Eagles, as they get their engines tuned up. And the same can be said for the Seawolves as they get situated in front of their respective bench. And this is a good time to meet our starting goaltenders, as we already highlighted one of them being Jacob Dubinsky, only his second appearance this season for Tomo Radiant's team, whereas Steven Reginato is looking to pick up win number 12 in game number 25 this season for the Seawolves.
As the sound cue says, it is indeed time to play the game. Seawolves here, a little bit of a extended ceremony here. Sometimes get a little bit of the jitters out there as you're on the ice a little bit longer than your opponents there. And for the Purple Eagles to sit in the locker room for a little bit longer after that warm-up, a little bit more tighter, a little more tension builds in that as you're waiting for that senior night to finish up. But festivities over, it's time to put puck to ice here and get this game going.
William Cormanic, the captain, playing his final home weekend as a Seawolf, gets things underway here in the first. Paul DeZaro and Christian Malik starting beside him for the offense. Dylan Kowalski and Joey Anastasio playing on the back end for the defense. As Niagara tries to erupt early, and that chance Bellinger missing wide. Bellinger missing wide. Another chance on the far side missing for Bellinger. He has missed cracking the score sheet twice so far from the get-go.
Niagara not messing around here, throwing out some of their strongest skaters here to start off here. They'll get their first line change done without incident.
Purple Eagles entering the zone once again. Centering feed wouldn't go that time. As Niagara tries to open up something here. That one pushed aside off the stick of Reginato. Stony Brook looking to re-engage the other way. Through the red line and put out in front by DeZaro. He detours to the bench. Meanwhile, Robert Hyde gets his first licks on the ice. Came in with some punishment that time as he'll look to try to get a hold of the possession here. As Stepney in close quarters trying to get a hold of the possession. Players mixing it up along the walls. Wenrick tosses it on net. It'll be covered up by Dubinsky, but not without some shoving between Spameni and Nakagawa.
And Nakagawa wins the Franzoni Scholarship Award and immediately getting hassled for the cash.
Peter Labos and Mara coming in. And Labos pulled the trigger, couldn't get a clean shot off that time as Dubinsky once again covers up. You have to wonder if the adapting from the festivities to the play and style is going to have any effect on these guys in the early goings of this matchup. It seems like for Stony Brook so far.
We'll see. Like I said at the top of the game here, there's a little bit of you're on the ice a little bit longer there. It does have some effect on you because you're used to getting out there and going, but doesn't seem like it's having too much of an effect on the Seawolves here as they're able to match the pace of the Purple Eagles.
It's the reason why I asked, because Niagara has already gotten numerous chances on that, and they came in flying out of the gates. And that long delay to start the game has had no effect on them so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then again, too, you look at the starting lineups there. Maybe you have a little bit of an intensity push there by the Purple Eagles in that first shift there, and Stony Brook was able to meet the moment there, or at least prevent any damage aside from a shot on goal.
There's Mara going to skate it through the blue line, gets by one, feeds it in front. Great stop there. Magnificent. Dubinsky robbing Labos in tight.
Dubinsky there saw the pass coming across there, made sure to stay low there to prevent anything from slipping through the 5-hole, and expertly defends against Labos.
So maybe I spoke too soon. Stony Brook is starting to bring some energy to this fight with that big scoring chance that time.
Well, after the first shift, Stony Brook has been able to kind of skate a little bit ahead here of the Purple Eagles here as they get their third shot on goal here today.
Well, Greg with the fourth shot just missing wide. As Trezera feeds it in front, got tipped on by DiNapoli. Dubinsky collects another save. As the possession played in neutral territory. Watch out! Anastasio avoiding disaster there. Stony Brook is going to race back to retrieve it. Teddy Valenci, the impending graduates.
And they're going to scrap behind the play here. Ref's going to let him go as they finally untangle.
Here's Anastasio. Bumps off his man. Going to take it through the red line and bring it back into familiar territory. He gets walloped in the glass by Taylor.
Taylor with 2 good checks there.
Wait, man, Anastasio flung it over the net that time. Big steal made by the Seawolves. DeZaro trying to take a hold of the opportunity. Gets a shot in there on the physical front. Cormatic there to offer support. Christian Malik. Niagara University Purple Eagles, no stranger to him, as he had his fair share of success in head-to-head matchups over the couple of seasons. One of them being a hat-trick performance on the road in that 2022-23 second half season for the Seawolves. This one is dumped in by the Purple Eagles. Reginado gonna play it!
And miscues there as Reginado tries to play the puck with a little more fancifulness than probably intended, and Niagara picks up an easy first goal here.
And right there at the right time to jam it home, Charlie Bellinger for his team-high 20th goal of the season. And his
That's not the person
total,
you want to turn it over to, that's for sure.
Absolutely. His points total now accumulated to 36 in game number 24 this season. Not the start for the Seawolves on senior nights that they wanted to have. And another almost connection made for the Purple Eagles as Spumeni nearly got ahead on the breakaway chance. Another opportunity missing wide as the Purple Eagles starting to get more chances going here. Stony Brook silenced for the meantime.
Stony Brook's had their opportunities so far in this game here, and it's one critical mistake here that puts Niagara up 1-0 right now.
Purple Eagles put to a stop as Stony Brook counteracts the other way. Slowly getting to the puck, Nakagawa, and laying off the gas just a little bit there may have cost him some precious zone possession there.
Well, he's going for the reverse check there, try to get himself a little bit of a better body position before going into the puck.
Nakagawa off to the bench. Reginado collects another save. And Labos tried to turn the corner to no avail. Clearing attempts wouldn't go for Niagara, although they do get the possession back.
So it's going to be a bit of a tune-up weekend here for the Seawolves playing against Niagara as they get themselves ready to go for playoffs and a potential national run.
Well, you highlighted it in the beginning of the broadcast. This is perhaps the most important game for Stony Brook this season. Think about the magnitude of an upset victory for Stony Brook if they were to get it done.
More than just the upset here. This is your test. This is against a team that's going to be playing in the top 8, top 4, maybe even a championship game later this year. And this is your opportunity to see how you stack.
It's a battle between 3 and 20, and 20 trailing by a goal here so far in the first.
Now, mind you, this was a team that was number 1 at one point this year.
Evidently, Niagara has had their fair share of troubles in the season. As Stony Brook trying to take advantage of something here. Instead, Reginado will hold up, and we'll get a face-off draw coming up in their zone.
I definitely have to fact check this. I want to say I saw something interesting in their last 10, and I got to definitely look it up before I say the stat and get it wrong. So we'll look that up, and I'll pull that stat out later in the period.
Will you get that on there?
We got stat guys for that.
Oh, perfect. Trying to come up with the right words to describe the situation as Stony Brook finds himself in a challenging situation, just trying to prevent these Purple Eagles from calculating another big scoring effort. DiNapoli couldn't win the draw that time. Dean Taylor lined up at the top. Flung on again and stopped by Regalado. Purple Eagles looking to open up the perimeter here. Almost had trouble handling it at the top as Niagara works down low as it's intercepted by the Regrets. And things go from bad to worse for Stony Brook to get this matchup going. Already down a goal, and now they are down a man.
And DiNapoli will sit for 2 for slashing. And Niagara will go at it on the power play. They're 30% on the season, according to the ACHA website. Stony Brook with a kill percentage of 72.5%. A tall order here for the Seawolves early on.
To correct you on just one thing, look, Retz is in the box, not DiNapoli. But DiNapoli was on the ice, however. We'll see if Stony Brook can rectify the situation and tie this thing up. They do have a strong special teams unit, but as you pointed out, Trevor, Niagara, not to be played around with when it comes to their power play. Minute and a half to go here on the man advantage for the Purple Eagles. McCormick at the point. He's going to grab it again. Deals it back over. Quick puck movements here. Fire and
stopped.
Regalado, a huge one there.
Catches that one off of a couple bodies there.
Little beats it in front, couldn't get that one to go. Grabs it again at the top. Little feeds it across to McCormick. McCormick waits, delays, down low again. Centering feed, another missed chance for Purple Eagles. Cleared out by Stony Brook.
Stony Brook's going to get that full change here. Niagara will slow it down here and get it changed themselves here. We'll see the second units go at it now with 45 to go in the man advantage.
Dean Taylor, who kicked off tonight's matchup with some big sounding hits and trying to make some noise on the offense here. He's got the possession, kept alive in the zone.
Cormatic was looking to go there. Couldn't get the puck out, though.
21 seconds remaining on the man advantage. Taylor delays. One-timer! Blasted on, but pushed away. Not sure if Regalado got a piece of it.
I think Wesco got all of that one as that one went wide here, as that one deflects out of the zone over Reganado's head. We'll face it off.
I believe that one hit off the stick of Valenti, but it could have gotten Trezera too. They're both in that same spots, putting a wall in front for Regalado.
One official shot on goal here for this power play so far with 10 seconds to go.
Gudninson wins it back. Taylor shifting over. Tried to feed it in front and got blocked away that time. Mara offering pressure against the Purple Eagles, and we're back to 5 aside.
Solid kill there for the Seawolves as they look to turn it around here.
We'll see if this brings some energy on the offense. Vernillo trying to make something happen, but to no avail. Here's Coulter. Coulter can spring it forward. No one there to grab it at the red line. As Poirier played it back in front. Dean Taylor in trouble, as this is pushed away by the Purple Eagles. Kowalski back to recollect. Shakes off one man as he tries to connect with Labos. Flipped back the other way by Shabbat. Closing in on the 10-minute mark of this first period. 1-0 the score on the goal by Bellinger after a crucial miscue by Stephen Regalado. Regalado plays it behind the nets. Malik backhands it away, but not out of the zone. Regalado has to make a stop and cover up.
In net for the Purple Eagles tonight on his second game is Jacob Dubinsky. Comes in tonight here with 2 goals against in his 1 game played and with a save percentage of 920. Hails out of New Denver, British Columbia, Canada. And tonight his job is to stop the Seawolves.
And although he hasn't made many appearances for the Purple Eagles, you have to wonder if those statistics were confident enough to make Tom O'Rady and decide, hey, we'll give this kid the shot here tonight in an important game against Stony Brook.
Well, this is for the Purple Eagles. This is a good opportunity to test your second and third goaltenders. You have a goal output that far outstrips your opponent, so you're not too worried that if you go down 1 or 2, you make a goaltending change, you get back in the game.
Well, he already made one brilliant save so far tonight, so at the moment it's paying off mighty dividends as Niagara almost adds to their lead as we get a stoppage on the scramble in front.
Well, for the Seawolves, that's an opportunity. It's a bit of an unknown factor you're playing against here, and an opportunity to try to find some holes in the guard that he puts up.
Perhaps the switch in the goaltending department is what Niagara wants to have. Trying to get back to their winning ways, maybe, perhaps. Stony Brook trying to take over, and they do. Hyde. Try to lead it forward to no avail. Nakagawa gonna spring it past the red line. Couldn't get it far into the end boards. Now he gets another chance, and that time makes its way down in that territory.
So the guys at the truck did get back to me about the last 10 games here for the Purple Eagles here. And
wonderful.
in the last 10 games, the Purple Eagles went 6-4. Now, if you were studying before, the Niagara Purple Eagles are 20-4 across the season, meaning those 4 losses came across the last 10 games here for them. So they've been basically running an undefeated schedule until they ran into a couple tough teams. But that's just a fun fact.
No, it's definitely no. I believe
now the last 5 for them though have been pretty impressive as they've beaten Ohio State and Liberty University in that last stretch.
No, it's definitely impressive for sure. Riding on a 5-game winning streak, and you do make an important notes, especially that when you're going down the wire for the second half of the season, you hit a roadblock. You have to wonder: is it time to make that switch in net? Maybe experiment differently.
Now, I think more than anything, this is just trying to find out what you got on the shelf, so to speak.
So 6-4 in their last 10 games,
with the last 5 being wins. Just to want to point that out. So
most
they are
importantly, yes, on a 5-game winning streak. Wins coming against Liberty, 2 against Ohio, and 2 against Stony Brook's next opponent, Oswego State.
One of those games is a bit more of a blowout than the other, but it does seem to be that maybe underestimating their opponents sometimes catches them a little off guard, or teams aren't able to keep up with Niagara as the weekend progresses.
And you have to wonder if maybe they might be underestimating them tonight. It doesn't seem like they are at the moment. So they came firing out of the gate, but you have to wonder pregame, especially since it's senior night, and you know Stony Brook is going to maybe get off to a slow start, adapting from different type of energy, senior night to the game itself. You have to wonder if Niagara sees it as an easy pathway to victory. We'll just have to wait and see what unfolds here. Right now, we've gone through over 10 minutes of hockey in the first. Niagara up 1-0 on the goal by Bellinger. DeZaro. Here's Malik. Play it back to Wenrick. Tried to tap it on and got it blocked after his stick shattered. And it leads to a chance for the Purple Eagles. Can they connect? No, they cannot. Regalado holds up.
Good poke check there from Haskins there to make that an easy grab there for Regalado.
But that play wouldn't have unfolded if the stick of Wenrick didn't break there. And that's one of those things that is always going to be out of your control that you cannot change the outcome of. And it's the best teams are the ones that can prevent that situation from leading to a goal. And Stony Brook doing just that, like you mentioned with the poke check play. Niagara keeping it in. There's a one-timer screaming wide as the Purple Eagles continue to get chances on goal. Bellinger fires one, blocked away by Regalado. Collecting saves from all angles in this first period alone. Steven with 10 on 11 shots faced through nearly 15 minutes of play. There's Bellinger. And the Purple Eagles will work from the back end. Coulter, Lucas Fancy gets by one. And the cavalry coming in, but not able to break the wall that's held by that man, Poirier, putting on the brakes. Slides it forward. No one in sight to grab it in time as Dubinsky holds up.
So we got a little more context for the 4 losses that Niagara received this year. You want to take any stabs at them? I'll give you a hint. They're in the top 4.
In the top 4, Minot State, Niagara. Oh wait, Minot State, Ohio, UNLV.
So the 2 came from Ohio and UNLV in 2 weekend sweeps.
And any of them come in overtime defeats. There's a chance in front. Little spraying it off the post. It somehow stayed out. He misconnected on a wide open chance there. He beat him on the far side, but it did not go past the line. And this game remains a score of 1-0.
I cannot believe that did not go in.
Jacob Cassette set on the draw here. Spaveni wired it over the goal, and Little will tap it back down low. Cossette taking the task there as Spaveni tries to take over. Stony Brook couldn't clear quickly out as Loft gonna fire it back in. Anastasio with some pressure instilled there. Cossette being hounded by numerous Seawolves. And here's Wenrick evading one, leading it ahead. Can't make the clean connection that time with Anastasio as to pull back. Loft evades one. And that evasive action leads to Niagara gaining the zone. Breaking ankles in front. And now Stony Brook trying to take advantage the other way. Malik backhands it in the zone. It rides around the wall. Dubinsky coughs it up, leads it from. What a save! Unbelievable! Jacob Dubinsky back the other way. Niagara in the zone. Another chance for the Purple Eagles. Save Regalado. And play is stopped.
Dubinsky there is making a case there for first star, and we're only in the first period here with 2 absolute blockbuster saves so far.
Unreal. And it was very reminiscent of the goal that Bellinger scored. A mistake by the goalie with playing it behind the goal, leading to a turnover.
But Stony Brook was unable to capitalize as they get clear the puck here. This one might go for icing, and it will.
Not that time. One could say the hamstrings of God playing into effect for Dubinsky.
Don't say that. We want those hamstrings to stay strong. That was incredible. We got to see more of that.
Believe me, you have to be in some sort. You got to be that. You got to be have a certain level of flexibility to make stops like that. Bang time.
Big tie up there in the Seawolves zone here as Labos brings it in.
And Labos got the chance off. Dubinsky collecting another save. Trezara couldn't twirl it back the other way. Offside signaled here. And play stops. We'll get a new face-off draw location coming up.
Stony Brook barely keeping themselves going here early on. Late in the first period, as they've had a couple shifts here where they've almost given themselves a 2-goal deficit.
Gudmundsson on the ice as his team tries to convert once again. Coulter steps ahead, throws it in the corner. Giving chase in front, Wesco. And Stony Brook almost dancing out of harm's way. It's Poirier carrying it further towards the net. Couldn't put it home that time. Great pressure being instilled by Stony Brook. after the events that happened prior. Poirier backpedaling. He'll take over once again. Stepney with some evasive action, and Poirier does the same. Stepney twirls it back the other way. Nakagawa on his horse. He's going to beat his man to the possession. Now can he maintain control of it? Right now he's held up against the boards. And Niagara with that swarm of bodies against Nakagawa doing the parts at clearing the other way.
Good soft dump there from Niagara to bring the pressure back to the Seawolves zone, and Stony Brook's going to get this right out of the zone right away.
Can Cormanic lean in and grab it? He almost did. Stony Brook can't stay in the zone that time. They do take it back. Malik, great effort that time. Saw in the neutral zone, but Little has other plans in mind. Purple Eagles looking to convert once again. A big stop made, and we get the net off its moorings. A collision in front doing that. And
it's Cormanic putting Chabot right into the net there. Knocking the net off there as he was trying to get up.
So the Purple Eagles will provide their heavy arsenal in front with the captain Loft waiting for a moment to strike at the top. Meanwhile, Lucas Fancy, who has his fair share of goals in his many games this season, tries to make an impact here. Little and Loft trading spots, and shot wide by Loft. Little takes over, feeds it ahead, missing wide there too. Bellinger, another third opportunity, and big block there made by, I believe that was Nakagawa, sliding across on his stomach.
Yes, it was, going down to sacrifice the body and make the play.
Wenrick taking that from the Purple Eagles. Wenrick trying to elude everyone! Heavy collision there with Little and a stoppage of play.
I think we're going to get a Niagara penalty here, and this one might be a hook. Bit of a delayed call there. I thought that one wasn't going there. It's going to be head contact instead there on Little.
Almost a huge effort, or almost a huge defense breaking effort by Wenrick. However, he does draw the penalty, and now gives Stony Brook a chance to do something here on their first power play of the evening. Brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates. We had a wild journey a few weeks back in which Stony Brook had almost 5 power plays in just one period alone. We'll see how many they get tonight. First one will begin with the clear, and Stony Brook starting from the back end.
Just saw Joey Trezera sprint off to the locker room.
Here's Dabinsky, gonna hold up there. And with a minute and 19 seconds left, we'll soon get an idea of Trezera's situation.
It might have just been an equipment malfunction. He was, like I said, he was sprinting, so it definitely wasn't an injury.
All right, that's a good sign.
At least that we know of.
So Cormanic trying to instill some punishment on the offense here. He's been silenced for more than 19 minutes so far. As Wenrick gets it across, Nakagawa feeds it over. Now Mara gets it back to Wenrick.
Aggressive forecheck.
Stony Brook trying to open up some real estate on the ice. Wenrick plays it back down low. Cormanic feeds it in front. Mara. Nakagawa taps it back to the point. Final minute underway in the period. One-timer! And a flash of brilliance by Dabinsky leading to another clear.
Puck might have been looking to go a little wide there, but Dabinsky there to meet the moment and send it further wide.
Stony Brook forging ahead. Robert Hyde to the goal. Can't finish the job. And Poirier not able to put it home in the second effort. And we get a dog pile after that sequence. Multiple players involved here. Anastasio mixing it up with McCormick. Those two apprehended. And I do not believe there will be any penalties called on the heels of that.
I don't think so. I think we're just going to face it off. It looks like it's going to come outside, though, as Stony Brook's defense did come down.
But what an effort by Robert Hyde. Dancing around two defensemen and almost pulling the old Forsberg trick. And Poirier coming in at the right place, right time, nearly jamming it home on the rebounds for Stony Brook. You gotta love the fire and intensity coming from this Seawolves power play unit. 26 seconds remaining in the period, 45 to go in this 5-on-4 power play situation. McCormick and Anastasio still going at it even before the puck is dropped. Keep an eye out on those two. It's Hyde.
And we're just going to kick both centermen out here.
Stony Brook. Anastasio Poirier. And look at Poirier, eludes one man. Puts on the brakes, feeds it across. Anastasio, bam! And there's the response by Joey, and you know that was coming, or pardon me, Matthew.
I think we're going to send both of them to the bin for two to think about what they've done.
And I can tell you, folks, from prior experience, especially when playing with a sibling on the same team, it's if one guy goes after your brother, you're bound to have his back. And that was just one of those situations where Joey got hit with a big check. Matthew saw it in clear sight, and he went in and wanted to protect his younger brother. So,
well, if you think you've seen everything, the second period is gearing up to be quite the event.
Certainly, all the emotions from that opening ceremony, all that is thrown to the side as we got the blood boiling up here between these two longtime foes. Huevos and Legrent. As the power play continues for Stony Brook, Huevos heavy check thrown. That was Legrent taking a run at one of the Purple Eagles, and you said it best.
Is just having a standing conversation there after that check, and
they are still chattering. Maddie Anastasio having words for the alternate captain, Little, and we got ourselves a second period to watch, folks. But first, to give you some time to think about how the first ended, what are your thoughts on this one, Trevor, so far?
It was a pretty cordial first period until we got to the last couple minutes there, as the checks really started to get ramped up here. Now everybody wants to hit somebody, and that's hockey, folks.
And you have to wonder if the reason why the intensity is starting to pick up is because Niagara, they're not getting the results they want. They came in expecting, hey, we're going to blow the doors off these guys, regardless of the close head-to-head matchups they've had with Stony Brook. But because it's senior night, they expected, hey, this should be an easy pathway to victory. We're going to absolutely outscore these guys. But no, that is not the case.
Well, I mean, we looked at the last couple matchups between these guys, and you had a 4-3 tight one in Niagara for game one of the two-game series. So, listen, to quote the Niagara coach, anything can happen, and if you don't think so, you haven't been around here long enough.
Certainly, Tom O'Radian, and he gave us seems like a big glimpse of what was to come for tonight. But let's talk about one thing we didn't see tonight coming, and that was Jacob Dubinsky. What a game he's had so far.
Oh, yeah,
stopping all 12, I should say.
Yes, all 12 recorded shots on goal, and an absolute stellar performance so far. A lot of those not easy shots, so hat tip where hat tip is due, and we'll see what he comes back with in the second period if we keep the momentum up here and try to fight there for the best GAA on the squad here, and maybe pitch himself a gem here.
And you have to say an admirable job for Steven Regalado. Made a crucial mistake in the beginning, giving up the goal to Bellinger, but he has bounced back mightily, shutting down Niagara numerous times ever since that goal.
Yeah, Reganado's been playing a fantastic game, and he's been getting the support he needs for the most part in front of the net. Lots of blocked shots there. Got to shout out Justin Nakagawa for literally laying out in front of an opportunity earlier in the game here. But for Stony Brook, if they really want to find themselves in a close one in the third period with an opportunity to collect an upset or send this one to overtime, they're going to have to capitalize on the opportunities that are given to them. Whether that's in the low slot there where you've got an open awning there and you don't put it home, and you have a goaltender in front of you that makes 200 incredible saves, you got to find a way to take advantage of all the opportunities that present them.
Well, before we get to the third period, we got to get through the next 20 more minutes of hockey. It's going to be a very exciting second period of hockey coming around the corner, folks, right here on LI Sports Network. So stay tuned. We got 12 more minutes of intermission time on your hands before we get the puck to drop right here on LI Sports Network.
At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat, so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
And we welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. Second period just about to begin in a few, once the nets are all set up by the officials, as we await for the two teams to return to the ice. As the buzzer sounds, and to get you all caught up to speed, it's Niagara leading 1-0 on the goal by Charlie Bellinger, his team high 20th goal of the season in 24 games played. Stony Brook enters the first 18 seconds of this period on the power play. And also there are two players still remaining in the penalty box for the rough stuff near the end of the first, Matt Anastasio and Little for Niagara.
If previous games have taught us anything about this matchup here, is to not not expect it to remain cordial for long. And we saw a little piece of that here at the end of the first period, and I'm not calling a full-on 5v5 scrap here on the ice, but not out of the question here given the friendly relations at play.
Oh, certainly. And this will be a test for these goalies as they switch sides as well. Regalado getting himself all familiar with where he stands. And now you have to wonder, Jacob Dubinsky, if his style, his performance is going to grow to even further lengths, or will Stony Brook finally get the best of him in these next 20 minutes?
Well, for Stony Brook, that's the hope, is to find a gap and put the puck through it here, as they got close a couple times in the first period, but Dubinsky has stood on his head through the first 20. The Seals will have a 18-second power play here to start the second period here. Basically, you'll get one crack at it, and then we'll be back to 5-a-side, barring any further funny business here. We got a little bit of a delay here. The ice is still not quite settled yet here from the ice cut, so they're going to give it a little bit of time here. It's a little warmer than it has been, so maybe that has something to do with the ice conditions here at the rink. I notice my feet aren't freezing as much.
Yes. That was also another topic we discussed with Tom O'Radian 2 weeks ago. Beyond blizzard-like cold conditions in the rink.
Oh, we were below freezing for probably one of the longest stretches in almost a decade. And while it definitely probably helped the rink's cooling budget, if you were standing up here in the press box, you're standing on the cold concrete slab, you'd be having some choice words about the lack of a heater above you. I got you to look for one, did you?
Well, I see.
No.
Well, we got 1, 2, 3. We got about 6 here, but it is in the direction of the patrons.
Yeah.
Whereas we got
nothing.
We got nothing in our area.
They put one in for the scorekeeper across the ice there, above where public address announcer, scorekeeper, and music controller Leon Bassett sits. But in an interview I had with him early last season, apparently those don't do anything, as they're too far away to be effective. So he has a heater at his feet typically to keep himself from becoming a icicle in there.
The reason why I keep on turning, looking up, I'm seeing if there's any room open for them to fit a heater maybe behind us. I don't know if it's in the budget.
It's definitely not. So I see they got a little portable heater there over with the radio guys over at WUSB. As they're looking to fill air as much as we are here, as the ice is still not settled. Looks like the squeegee is out on the ice now, as we're just trying to move some water around, as it seems like they might have overcooked it a bit on the water setting. And
You do know what they say, next man up, and that includes for the Zamboni if it doesn't get every area of the ice.
it's still looking a little glossy out there, and I think we're getting close here as the referees are chatting up with the coaches here, and obviously player safety is paramount here, and it seems like everybody's happy enough with the conditions of the ice here. They've passed the test, and we'll get the second period underway, and you won't have to hear us bickering about nothing.
Now, I do have to wonder this, because there's 18 seconds of power play time. How do the Seawolves come out of this puck drop here? Are they going to come flying in, or how is this going to be?
You try to just win the puck forward to get in there.
All right, it's one back by Cormatic to Kowalski. And it's dropped in to DeZaro, and he comes in with speed. Seawolves down to the final 5 seconds of power play time. DeZaro rushing over to keep it in the zone. Malik with the steal. Malik walking in, can't pull the trigger that time. 5 aside again. Neither team able to succeed on the power play tonight so far.
3-on-2 for the Eagles.
Shabbat leads it in front, just missing the stick of his intended target, Gudmundsson. McCormick feeds it across. Niagara making their way through, dancing around, and coming across Nakagawa was Little. As Nakagawa tries to break free. Instead, it's Niagara getting the possession back. Sends in by the Purple Eagles once again, Schneidmiller, as Niagara tries to knock on the door once again. Bellinger whips it back in front. Stony Brook able to poke it away from danger. Here's Nastepny galloping the other way. Kyle Nastepny feathers it in front, kicked away by Dubinsky. Another chance, another misfire for the Seawolves as Nastepny slashes away at it. Here is Hyde, Robert Hyde. Journeys back to the point, fires one. Got blocked in there, and Nakagawa takes a spill.
Schneidmiller gets the block there on that one, doesn't even get to the goaltender.
Coulter. Niagara finally able to clear the zone. Here's Schneidmiller. Bring it back in the zone. Stony Brook, however, closing the door on Niagara. But they left Bellinger open. Fans on the throw-in there. So we start to see the ice conditions playing a part in both Stony Brook and Niagara's latest shift.
Yeah, the ice is very wet there. If you get the camera on that, right by the blue line here, close.
Yep. Saw Nakagawa take a spill right in front of Dubinsky in the crease, and we just saw Bellinger swiping a miss.
Right where those Purple Eagles are congregating, that ice is absolutely just wet still. The pucks will get stuck in wet ice, and that's never a good situation, whether you're Stony Brook trying to get the puck out of the zone or if you're Niagara trying to take a shot from the point.
Whittle's chance just missing. May have gotten a piece of Reginato. Whittle gonna pinch in there to keep it in the zone, or so I thought. Mara trying to poke it out, and Labos will further carry it back in. Here he comes, Labos! Knocked off the possession. Mara responding. We get a penalty, and it's going against Stony Brook, I believe, for the retaliatory hit by Mara. And he caught Coulter, or who was that? No, Cosette. He caught him up high. Survey says.
That's Cosette as he goes off. Bent over a little bit after the check there. That's a penalty there for the Seawolves. Not a smart one to take, as those retaliatory checks are clearly being picked up tonight by the officials.
Second power play of the night for Niagara. They couldn't capitalize the first time around. Stony Brook able to clear out. Carried through the red line and brought back in by Cormanic. Lost control of the possession to McCormick. And flying back in comes Bellinger. Slamming on the brakes ever so quickly, but he coughed it up to Nakagawa. And it may lead to a 2-on-1. Nakagawa. Winrick couldn't get a hold of the possession that time. A lot of action coming here on this power play.
And this is the thing I said before, Stony Brook got to capitalize on opportunities here as Nakagawa's getting tangled up here with...
That was Little and Nakagawa still mixing it up. We saw them get together near the end of the first.
Guarantee if you got an incident, it might involve Little. He's been making no qualms about picking anything with anyone.
McCormick controlling, feeds it to the far side where it's held up at the top. Now played by Sochka. Adam Sochka down low, quick touches all around. Little couldn't, or pardon me, that was Cowan that couldn't finish the job as Stony Brook clears out.
Cal's going to want that one back there, right in the right place at the right time, but doesn't get it all.
McCormick. Purple Eagles trying to get something to go here. McCormick. Back in front, Cowan denied by Reganato. Sochka plays it back to the point. Taylor, Glover, fires just wide. Gudninson back to the point. Glover gonna play it off the wall. Couldn't get much on it there. He gets another stab at it. Time about to expire on the power play. Taylor couldn't get a clean shot that time. May have gotten blocked in front.
Labos got a skate on that one.
It couldn't be cleared out. We're back to 5 aside. Scramble in front. Taylor! Reganato slides across to deny him.
And Reganato definitely got there at the right place, right time to protect that open net.
So Niagara 0 for 2 tonight on the man advantage. And the Purple Eagles will swipe it back in as Wesco and company try to do something here. Stony Brook. Now the question is, can they erupt now that they killed off 2 penalties here tonight? And Paul Tesaro may just do that. Here he comes, dangling in. Tesaro denied by Dubinsky. Oh, would that have been miraculous?
Excellent move there to get around both defensemen, but couldn't put it home.
Purple Eagles trying to respond the other way, but they will not do that. Yes.
And that's a big shift there for the Seawolves after the kill. You saw how energized they were coming off the bench, and then Desaro basically single-man effort, skates it coast to coast, gets a shot on goal. Doesn't go home, but it's definitely something that is putting some energy into the Seawolves game.
Perhaps a message being sent to Dubinsky to tell them, hey, we're still here. We're not going away anytime soon.
Absolutely.
Hyde mixing it up on the draw here again. Stepney rushing in, trying to get a hold of possession. He's got it. Can he keep it under control? No, he cannot. And back the other way, Shabbat will lead it forward. A fresh line coming onto the ice, or maybe a few fresh players coming onto the ice for Niagara. They had a tired bunch starting off the sequence. Spavetti feeds it in front. The finish couldn't be put home. They still quarrel there in the zone as Little. Trying to play it in front to no avail. Poirier tried to escape ahead. Instead, the Purple Eagles holding the Seawolves at bay. Fancy fires, save Reganato. Little comes over there. Try to keep the Purple Eagles in the zone. Multiple players coming at it. Spumeni plays it back. Loft. It takes a ride around the wall. Forwards play back to Little. Loft again. Fires it in front. Another save. Rebound. Scramble again. And the Stepney this time tries to get his name in the mix.
Clear opportunity now for the Seawolves to get it out.
Anastasio couldn't exit carefully there. Poirier leads it ahead. Can't connect with Nakagawa, and he's going to draw a penalty, and he is hurt and rolling in pain.
Big check there, and Seawolves are going to get the benefit of the power play here, but at what cost here to Nakagawa, who's down, and he does not look good.
Loft, the captain, will sit, but the question remains for how long, as Nakagawa is not in good shape at this time.
Trainer down to the ice now and attending Justin now, and hopefully nothing too serious here. As penalty called here is going to be a 5-minute major here.
We'll see if this is just a 5-minute major without the game misconduct attached to it, but because we do not see any other Niagara players coming into the box.
Doesn't look like it here. There is a conference happening here at center ice here with the 2 officials here, but I think the penalty's already been booked at this point. didn't see a hand signal at all here, so we'll have to wait for the public address to see what the call is, or maybe if the score sheet gets updated, we can get that.
We have a glimpse of how they are attending to Nakagawa, keeping his leg stabilized. That's his left leg being taped up there. Now they're gonna assist him off the ice in the best way they possibly can, but you can tell that this is not good for the Seawolves as Nakagawa.
Nursing that left leg there.
No weight on it whatsoever, as he has Hyde and another Seawolf helping him off the ice.
The call is boarding. And that'll become at 6:54 here, the second.
And although when the play occurred, I only saw the number I only saw Nakagawa's number get contacted. I didn't see where his leg got hurt once it happens.
Yeah, maybe the way he went down, or I don't know. Well, we'll have to find out what happened with the injury there. Looks like they're going to try to just get him off the ice here.
Yeah, this does not look like the type of injury that can be nursed on the bench. And now they'll open the door for him to get off the ice, where he'll be attended to in the locker room. We'll hope to have any update when the time comes. So Stony Brook getting a major power play opportunity out of this.
One of the power play goal leaders on the Seawolves out for the count right now.
It certainly is a Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates power play, and one that Stony Brook would love to convert on after losing their best man on power plays, that being Justin Nakagawa. Quarrel in the corner as Cormanic and the Seawolves try to open up the real estate on the ice. Shot on, but missed as this arrow rushes over, but can't get there in time. Niagara with a first early clear. 30 seconds into the power play. Stony Brook looking to establish some much needed energy here. Zarro having trouble working there, and another big clear from the Purple Eagles.
Bit of a funky bouncing puck there, and that gets put aside there from Reginado, not wanting to take any risks there.
Wenrick journeys back in the zone as it's put back down low, and another clear. Malik not able to get it, and that results in a third clear for Niagara.
Reginado comes out, touches that one up, sets it up there for the Seawolves.
You can definitely feel the absence of Nakagawa on this power play for Stony Brook. Huevos trying to rush over and grab the possession. Now Mara tries to have his spot on the ice. Anastasio, Hyde. The trigger pull denied by Dubinsky.
Had a wide open opportunity there to take his shot.
2.5 minutes of power play time gone by. Another big blocked shot and another clear for Niagara.
Niagara's going to get 3 of their 4 killers change there.
And when it comes to penalty kills, Niagara, no strangers to success, 82% in that department. Little clears it out again.
Stony Brook having a heck of a time trying to get any kind of offensive pressure going there and get the power play started there.
Anastasio, DeZaro has room. DeZaro just missing on the finish there.
Puts it off the shoulder of Dubinsky. Poirier now will circle back. He'll take it himself.
He brings it through the red line. Now DeZaro plays it back. Poirier feeds it across. Poirier flings it over the goal. Another chance off of the tough angle.
Tough angle shot there, but that's what you got to try to take there is a bit of a slower pace here on the power play. You try to ramp that speed up, try to catch somebody off guard, and hope you find the net there on those shots. Otherwise, they're going straight out of the zone.
We've reached the final 2 minutes of this major power play for Stony Brook. Mara cycling back in, heavy collision in the end boards, and it's sauced out for another big clear. As the time runs by on the power play, so does the clock in the periods. We've gone past the 10-minute mark here in the second.
Fast-moving period otherwise here, and it has a lot to do with this basically non-stop power play here for the Seawolves here. I don't think we've had a whistle since the start of it, and Niagara's been very good at getting the puck out of the zone here, creating these long 200-foot opportunities.
Wenrick taking it behind the goal and back to the point. Tried to squeeze it across the hide. And instead, Niagara banks it off the boards, but can they get it out? No, they cannot. Hyde tried to feed it back to the points. Instead, Niagara will carry it back in the zone. Shorthanded chance for Gudnason. Although they won't get a goal out of it, they do kill off more time against the Seawolves power play front.
Coming down to the last 30 seconds.
Half a minute to go on the man advantage for Stony Brook, their biggest one of the night so far. Poirier. Here's Labos. Peter Labos. Played it along the wall, and instead it inadvertently takes him all the way out of the zone. Anastasio. 10 more seconds of power play time. You can feel the silence in this building for Stony Brook. They have not been able to get anything to go on this power play. And it goes for a big clear by Niagara. Fresh, full line on the ice. We're 5 aside once again. McCormick. DiNapoli tied up there at a possible 2-on-1. Here he comes with speed. Didn't have a target open, and it takes Stony Brook out of the zone once again. And DiNapoli coughed it up as he couldn't receive it that well there. Here's Lucas Fancy putting on the moves. Can't finish the job that time.
Puck slid right across the crease there if nobody was there to put it home for Niagara.
And the whistle stays in the pocket for now.
Good clean hockey for the past 6-7 minutes now.
Kowalski gonna bank it out of harm's way, and then takes a ride
This is a
down
2-on-0.
in front. DiNapoli ran out of room to feed it in front, and Gretz takes a heavy shot there.
Couldn't quite corral it.
Another shot missing for Stony Brook. DiNapoli not able to grab it. Legret mixing it up once again.
Legret. A little bit of a chip on his shoulder there.
Lead feet ahead. The Purple Eagles putting it out in front, but not able to convert there.
Another puck in front of the net there, right in the slot there. No Eagle to put it home, though.
The Stepney throws it wide as it rides around the glass. Stony Brook able to keep it in the zone. 6.5 remaining in the second. Mara couldn't get a hold of the possession. Sochka and Cowan leading the cavalry for Niagara. Sochka. A tough angle shot surrendered to Regalado as he collects another save after what was more than 5 minutes of non-stop hockey.
More than that. I think it was 10 minutes of nonstop hockey.
That is insane.
Or almost 10 minutes, I should say. I think it was like, the penalty was at 6:53, 6:54, so. So we're at 14 now, effectively, so like 8 minutes of nonstop hockey.
Off the draw, Callan denied by Regalado. Stony Brook, who's had numerous 2-on-1 chances, have not been able to convert, though. And from the time when they went on the power play to where they are now. And Tizarro launches it, save Dubinsky.
They've been getting a lot of good, clean opportunities here. At some point, one's going to go, I think.
They're getting their chances. Malik feeds it in front. It almost went through Dubinsky. It got cleared away by the Purple Eagles, though. Poirier will let things settle down for a bit. Intercepted there by Wesco. Wesco breaks free from the pressure there. It's coughed up. Back the other way. Tizarro. He's got speed under his belt. But how much of that is left in the tank? As Wesco and Taylor back the other way.
Haskins with a great poke check there to break up the 2-on-1.
Purple Eagles not able to convert that time. Haskins looking to shovel it out of harm's way. They can't clear the zone. Taylor trying to get in the hold of the opportunity. McCormick puts the moves at the top. Still putting on the moves. Lost control of it. Good pressure being instilled from behind by Mara. Out of his net, playing way out of his goal.
Labos has it.
Can he convert on it? No, they cannot. Mara missing the chance there.
The Seawolves lose this one 1-0. It won't be because they didn't get their chances.
Absolutely. Bernillo keeping Niagara at bay. Poke checks and all coming from 94. Not able to get the opportunity there that time. Niagara with an advantage in front. Mara rushing back to mitigate the opportunity. And back the other way comes Stony Brook.
2-on-1 again.
2-on-1 to Napoli. Twisted wide after fanning on the feed across to Nestepny.
Wouldn't that have been a web gem if he got that one?
Oh, boy.
Stony Brook finding opportunities here late in the second.
And back they come again. Nestepny pokes it up ahead, although this time couldn't make much of it. And we'll get a draw coming up.
It's still 1-0 here. This is still, pointing this out here, this is number 3 Niagara against number 20 Stony Brook here. Nobody had this one here going into the third period as a 1-goal game. But we still got 3 minutes to sort out here in the second.
And had that goal been scored by Little, in which he hit the post, it would have been a 2-0 game right now. But these Seawolves.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but all that matters is what goes between the pipes and in the twine.
You have to give credit to Stony Brook. They have not.
They haven't given up.
Exactly. Even after the power play didn't go for them, they've held their own. They've gotten their chances, and they may get another one here. William Cormanic trying to do everything in his right to get through. Instead, we get a stoppage as the puck gets fired into the bench of Stony Brook.
Look alive on the Seawolves bench there. We're down to 2:51 here. Stony Brook with the shots on goal advantage, 22-20.
Period started with the Seawolves having 13-12 in shots on goal, and by no surprise, that number.
This is expected it to be closer. The 5-minute power play definitely helping the Seawolves keep some of that pressure off for a little bit.
Whittle taps it in front, couldn't get it on net. Malik Cesaro found Anastasio. Pushing in front, it gets sent wide. Niagara trying to make something happen. Callan spins it back in. Regalado trying to avoid the same mistake he made back in the first. Still the only goal scored so far. Malik, I should say, having trouble gathering the possession. Now it's Stony Brook who controls it in their zone. Hyde losing control of the puck there as Sachka touches it offsides. I don't know if that was some miscommunication on Niagara, on Sachka's parts, or
probably didn't realize he had a guy jumping off the bench there on the far side, as the benches do go pretty deep into the defensive zone here in the second period.
That is very true indeed. As Sachka.
Sorry, offensive zone.
Here's McCormick. Fires! And Regalado making the stop.
And so far, it's just Charlie Bellinger's goal here that is the difference maker tonight.
There is the lone goal scorer on the ice, awaiting in the shadows behind Sachka. And here he is. And it rang off the mask. Regalado got to take a look at that, and once he gets a whistle. Another chance, a big high glove save by Regalado. Made 2 stops there.
I think the net was a little bit knocked off there as well there as Regalado kind of grabs the net there, make sure it's on the moorings. And he'll take a look at his mask there and make sure everything is sound. Seawolves definitely playing a strong period. Definitely bolstered by the 5-minute power play, but a lot of good things to say about the Stony Brook penalty kill today, as they've been able to fend off Niagara on their 2 opportunities.
Purple Eagles working back in front. McCormick couldn't finish the job there. However, Niagara remaining in the zone. Regalado collecting another save there, as this is shoveled out of harm's way by Haskins. Sachka surrenders it back to Wenrick. Seawolves looking to re-engage the other way. Cesaro. Formatic trying to get a touch on. Feeds it back in front. Malik couldn't pull the trigger in time. Final minute of play commences here in the second. Bellinger across, score! Wesco and the Purple Eagles have finally cracked the score sheet once again. It is 2-0 Niagara.
That's just a good fast break opportunity for the Purple Eagles there, taking advantage of a bit of a slow response there from the Seawolves, and a good screen in front there, leveraging their own guy and the Seawolves defenseman. And unfortunately, Regalado didn't have much of a shot at even seeing that puck, let alone saving it.
And once again, Bellinger involved in another goal-scoring play for Niagara. He collects an assist there.
That'll be number 17 on the year for assists and point number 37.
A big night for Bellinger. However, the Seawolves are still in this. Here's Labos. Save. Rebound. Poke check. Dubinsky. And we're down to half a minute here in the seconds. Poirier slamming on the brakes. Looked like he was going for the reverse check. And once again, Stony Brook galloping back in. Here's Labos. Labos.
They'll take one up
there.
top. Labos not happy about that one as he gets dragged down.
What a play made by Mara with the steal. Mara avoiding disaster. Mara having his hands full.
As it seems like things are unraveling again here at the end of the period. Two-hander to the back of the legs there. Mara takes one from 20.
Buzzer sounds. No extracurriculars after.
Shabbat definitely taking some liberties there at the end of the period. They're taking a couple whacks.
And we leave the second as Niagara goes up ahead 2-0 on the goal from Wesco. at the 19-minute mark of this second period.
As for a period that looked like Niagara was about to give one up the entire period, comes through at the end there on a fast break opportunity and puts one in to give themselves a bit of a cushion here going into the third.
Now I have to ask you first, because we're starting to see some of that frustration coming out of Stony Brook after not capitalizing on the power play. How do you conjure up that frustration and not let it dissolve into bad penalties, undisciplinary plays that takes you further out of this game? How do you avoid that?
Well, that's the thing is you gotta tell your guys to keep your head up. You're getting close. You're getting good opportunities. You got to have your guys finish, though. And that's it's tough to like say, all right, just score a goal. That easier said than done. But for the Seawolves here, they're getting their opportunities. They got to keep their heads up on that one and know that they're getting close and that they keep going. Something might go there. But seeing what you got ahead of you, realizing what's working, what's not working. Like Niagara was giving them all sorts of room to skate there in the second period. And they were getting so many opportunities to just skate the puck right up the ice and get into the zone there, get a shot on goal. Like they have the shots on goal advantage here at the end of the second here. Again, I'm going to say for the fourth or fifth time now, yes, they had a 5-minute power play that definitely helped there, but a lot of the opportunities on that 5-minute power play were just one-and-done opportunities that resulted in the puck going down the ice again. Absolutely. And Stony was taking that puck, skating it down the ice, skating around the Purple Eagles, getting a shot on goal. I think for the Seawolves, it's converting some of those into sustained zone pressure. And when you saw that for the Seawolves, they were getting closer, getting some good opportunities. But hopefully for them, it's a matter of not letting that frustration turn into bad penalties and giving into the stuff that results in lots of lights lit up on the scoreboard.
And that was a big loss for the Seawolves. There's the Justin Nakagawa. That's a huge story to look after, whether or not he comes back into this game.
Out with a lower body injury. We're going to try to see if we can get an update between periods as to what's going on, what the prognosis is. If they're going to try to get him back in the game, or if he's going to be put, if he's going to be taking an early shower tonight and getting to some more medical assistance. But we'll hopefully have that update for you between periods here. We're going to wrap up the intermission here, and we'll see you guys back for the third period in about 14 minutes here on LI Sports Network.
At Stony Brook Medicine, our gastroenterologists perform a groundbreaking procedure that restores the ability to eat, so Kevin can enjoy dining out again. Our kidney transplant team has one of the fastest transplant rates in the nation, so Pat can spend time doing what she loves. Our skilled surgeons perform robotic-assisted surgery for colon cancer, so Chris can get back to reeling them in sooner. Leading the way to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
And we are back to almost get this third period underway as Stony Brook trails 2-0 to the Niagara University Purple Eagles after a for 19 minutes, a quiet, non-scoring second period before Johnny Wesco, that is, picked up his third goal of the season. And Niagara leading 2-0 as Stony Brook leads 24-23 in shots on goal. And they got a lot of opportunities on that 5-minute power play despite not able to capitalize.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough power play there for the Seawolves there as they weren't able to really establish pressure. Big props to the Niagara penalty kill there as they were able to successfully thwart the Seawolves offense. Not so much in the generating opportunity side of things like I thought they were going to do, but they played a very sound, very disciplined penalty kill and just got business done there. And there's a lot to really appreciate about a penalty kill that just gets the job done in that way.
I think another thing you have to give credit to Stony Brook for is they didn't, the moment when Nakagawa got hurt, they didn't retaliate, and that negates the power play for them. And speaking of Justin Nakagawa, he's taking some laps on the ice, which that's a very positive sight to see, but you have to wonder how long he could go and stay out on the ice for that lingering leg injury that he sustained.
Definitely, we don't know exactly what he tweaked in there, but it might have been a knee. He was getting stretched out by the trainer in between periods, and coming out here to give a little skate here to see how it feels and see if he can go at full tilt there. Takes a nice athletic jump onto the bench there.
So all signs seem to point in the right direction for Nakagawa's status.
Indeed, we'll see what that turns into here as we get ready to drop the puck here in the third period.
Just how we started things off in the first. It's the same lines that will kick off the third, with Cormatic and Fancy taking the draw at center ice. It's dumped in by the Purple Eagles as Niagara leads 2-0. Bellinger on the goal in the first, Wesco in the second. Cormatic almost taking aim there. Another chance missing and cleared out by Niagara. No icing here as Regginato plays it behind the cage. Purple Eagles trying to commit the turnover as Stony Brook not able to clear the zone. Lucas Fancy mixing it up down low. Centering feed wouldn't go. Bellinger 2 points under his belt tonight. As I said, a goal in the first, an assist on Wesco in the second, and Regginato is shutting the door from all angles as play is stopped.
Couple good opportunities there early on for Niagara. Regginato up to the task to shut them down here. 51 seconds gone by here in the third period. Stony Brook's got to find two.
Alex Whittle returns to the ice alongside Croft. Pardon me, alongside the captain Loft. He was the one that served the 5-minute penalty for boarding that injured Nakagawa in the second, and he stays in the game as he was not hit with the additional 10-minute misconduct to go with it. Loft played from back there and couldn't clear out quickly. Stony Brook looking to prevail the other way. Sent in by Vernillo. Labos giving chase. Labos nearly committing a turnover there. As Spumeni trucks it back in the zone. A near giveaway for Regginato. That would have been his second one of the night. In that same area that he coughed up the goal to Bellinger back in the first. A lot of real estate for the Purple Eagles. Now it closes up as Stony Brook creates a wall to prevent Niagara from converting. Vernillo, Labos looking to hunt the other way. Couldn't do much that time. Cowan gets a touch on it. And Wesco trying to get his further share as well. High pinned up against the boards. Labos, or pardon me, this is Nakagawa. First shift of the game, of the third period, I should say. We'll see how he does throughout this one. As Nakagawa goes for the reverse check. Doesn't work there. It leads to Niagara pushing back in the zone. Chance denied by Regginato.
Justin didn't want to touch the puck there for the hand pass, so tried to create an opportunity we could quickly turn it over.
So he quickly gets off the ice. And Niagara working behind the goal. Not able to clear out. Hyde in front, can't connect with Stepney that time.
3-on-2 if they can hurry.
Purple Eagles having trouble converting there. Wesco feeds it in front, and Taylor denied that time by Regginato. Another chance put out in front again, another clear out by Stony Brook, and they are able to force their way out of the zone. Anastasio got to punt it in further. Legret meeting him in the corner. As DiNapoli back in the mix, feeds it back to the top. Anastasio feathers it back in. DiNapoli tried to swipe it back to Trezera to no avail, and it's cleared away by Niagara. Trezera, or pardon me, Valenci lost control of it. Trezera will recollect, or try to do that. Instead, Niagara keeps the possession. Purple Eagles advancing ahead. Sochka back on the ice. Furlong tied up there. Shabbat's chance denied by Regginato and cleared away by the Seawolves. Little plays it back in the zone. As Trezera and Stony Brook try to regroup quickly. Not able to do much there, as Niagara will try to work their way out of the zone. It's banked up ahead, not much done. Stony Brook back with the possession. A lot of room to push ahead. DeZaro saved Dubinsky, and before it gets let free, Dubinsky stops that one in his glove.
Dubinsky with a challenging save there, as that one was a high riser going up towards the top right corner. Catches him right in the armpit basically, and falls down and stops the play there. Wisely getting the face-off here for the Purple Eagles in their zone.
Mara getting himself situated against Lucas Fancy. Been quiet all evening, other than the penalty he served back in the first. One of the early power plays of the game. Hyde right off the draw and quickly snagged by Dubinsky. Jacob Dubinsky holding his own, stopping all 26 shots. All 26 shots from Stony Brook. Vernillo from a tough angle, couldn't slide that one on net. Niagara forcing their way back in the zone. And here's Stony Brook looking to progress forward. Not able to do much there, as Haskins twirls it back to Wenrick. Wenrick taking evasive action once again, as Stony Brook tries to clear through the red line. Mara trying to grab it. Bellinger does instead. Bellinger from long distance, stopped by Regginato. Niagara still getting shots on goal. Reganado swallowing them up, however.
And for Reganado, that's save number 26 on the day. Time is starting to run out here for the Seawolves. Still 14:43 to go, but Stony Brook is going to have to make some hay here on the goals department if they want to send this one to overtime or even potentially have a shot at causing an upset.
Spumeni plays the bouncing puck. Now it's Glover who has trouble connecting ahead with his intended target, which would have been Cosette, as Taylor plays it back in. Kowalski lost control of it there. And more zone coverage being instilled by Niagara before it gets cleared away by Stony Brook. Dubinsky will play it aside. McCormick. Now Taylor couldn't push it forward. Good play by Cormanek to negate the zone exit. Cormanek having his hands full in the corner. Malik rushing over. Cormanek played it out in front. No one able to put it home.
Goes for the stuff opportunity. Could not find a hole there.
Deflection in front.
Malik with a interesting tip there.
By Christian Malik. As Spumeni takes over the other way. Glover save, rebound, contact in front. And a hand pass signaled to stop play.
Another 3-on-2 opportunity there for the Purple Eagles there. Couldn't capitalize on that one, but they sure got close.
Certainly, as Reganado held his own that time as he collects his 27th save of the evening. His numbers continuing to grow in that department. However, Stony Brook not able to convert on the score sheet just yet. They've come close from all areas on the ice here tonight. Little fires blocked away by Reganado. There's Loft. Little. Niagara settling things down before it ramps back up. Great pressure being instilled by Stony Brook. Trying to negate the zone exit for Niagara. They got the possession again. Wenbrick looks for an option as Anastasio floats it forward.
Tried to get a deflection there just to get a deep puck in there to get a change.
Cowan will take over. Not able to do much there. And Hyde came in at the right place at the right time, but not before the puck gets knocked out of play.
And Stony Brook still with signs of life here in the third period here. I will say, since the 5-minute major and the Nakagawa injury, things have calmed down pretty majorly here.
Evan Mara trying to be one of those players that turns the energy up all over again for Stony Brook as Vernillo takes over. Finds Wenrick. Stony Brook staying on side. Wenrick not able to nudge it ahead, and he's got to race back and collect. It's Niagara continuing to keep Stony Brook at bay.
I'd say, if anything, the reduction in heavy checks have kind of played to Stony Brook's strength here. Is Niagara's not really able to force Stony Brook into bad situations as much as they were in the first period.
Anastasio almost found himself in a tight situation there as Sachka leads the cavalry up ahead. Tough angle shot missing wide for Niagara. Angled across. Anastasio ran out of room to push forward. Instead, it'll be taken on by Vernillo as Hyde mixes it up once again. Trezera and Wenrick racing back. Icing called. Actually, that was Valencia who steps onto the ice in his final home weekend as a Stony Brook Seawolf along with Joey Trezera. inching closer and closer to the 10-minute mark of this third period. Stony Brook shut down for more than half of this game so far. Another block made, and that's going to lead to Niagara gaining the zone the other way. ACHA back to the top, Bellinger. Hounded there by the captain, Cormanic. Those two entangled there in the corner. Malik pressured as Wenrick tries to clear the zone. Malik skates it forward, lost control of the possession. McCormick knifes it up ahead. Can't do much that time. Lost in the skates of ACHA. Caused some trouble there for Niagara. And not much trouble done as they do get the zone and play is stopped.
There wasn't too many men on the ice there as the next skater for Niagara didn't get on the ice yet, so good heads up bench work there not to get themselves caught in a too many men situation.
So we'll give the Purple Eagles a big face-off draw to the left of Regalado. Fancy. It's been quiet all evening. Most noise has been made so far from Bellinger. He awaits on the ice. Play continues. The puck stays in play. Stony Brook trying to get a hold of the possession once again. For now, it's Niagara who controls the chances and missed wide. Anastasio taking over once again and further pushed in by Stepney, who takes a hard check there. And Stepney trying to create some noise the other way once more. Poirier. Now Kowalski had some trouble there as he delayed a bit. Poirier wipes it in front. Anastasio lofts it back in. And it leaves room for the Purple Eagles to escape forward. Late man coming into the picture, Spumeni. Spumeni hounded there in the corner by Wenrick. Mara descends to the ice, and so does Loft, the captain. Like a domino effect. One player going down after another. Glover shot it in front and may have gotten blocked there. Friendly fire for the Purple Eagles, and icing called against the Seawolves.
Anastasio not able to get that next skier to beat the icing out here, and Sunricks have to have a big win here on the face-off here. Get this one out of the zone.
Charles Poirier trying to do everything in his power to make something happen here for Stony Brook. Rushes over to get a hold of the possession. Now Mara back in the mix. It's turned over down low in front. Regalado covers up. Niagara still getting their chances against Stony Brook.
Pressure getting ramped up here from Niagara. Here's the third period carries on. That's their 33rd shot on goal. Stony Brook not able to really break the forecheck open here on Niagara and get some opportunities as they've been stuck at 27 for quite a while now.
Cody Gudnitson, 4 goals under his belt this season, 15 points in total. Shot on and caught in the glove hand of Regalado, and we'll do it again. Cormanic lost it on the tie up there. Loft got spearheaded forward. Stony Brook trying to close all gaps on the ice where Niagara stands. As Haskins able to clear it out.
This one's going to go for icing here.
And that is not what Stony Brook was looking to do at that time.
The forecheck has been pretty smothering here for Niagara here, and the Seawolves are not having the easiest of times here trying to generate a breakout, and it's forcing them to go for these stretch passes here to just get the puck out of the zone, and you don't get that feathered right, and it's going to be an icing.
Willis Shabbat was the draw to Cormatic. Those two entangled down at the ice as Stony Brook has trouble clearing the zone once again. It leads to Coulter pushing his way back in. And here come the Purple Eagles. Can they execute in front?
Puck's
no,
still
they
loose.
cannot. Amidst of all the chaos, Steven Reganato with a big-time stop.
And this one's not going to be an icing here. It's played by Dubinsky all the way out of the zone.
I don't know if he got the pad on it or if that was the glove. Either way,
He
Steven
got something on it.
kept the Eagles from converting. Shabbat mounted down low. It's twirled back in the corner. Haskins can't clear it out. Coulter throws it back down low again. Centering feed, touched on but couldn't be put home. And it leads to Stony Brook pushing out, not able to get past the red line. A juggling act ensues, and we get a hand pass signaled.
Niagara thought they were going for too many men there. Heard some protests come from the bench.
I believe that was Tom O'Rady about to blow a gasket. As he and his team are trying to escape with a big road victory here. We got 7.5 more minutes on the clock. As Stony Brook doing everything in their power to keep this one close and maybe pull off a miracle if it presents itself. But Niagara, as you pointed out, their aggressive forechecking units showing signs of brilliance at keeping Stony Brook at bay. Vernillo looking to strike with Hyde. He sent it wide over the net and got some help in front, courtesy of the diving McCormick. It's shoveled along back in the zone where Anastasio will recollect. Here's Kowalski. Taylor gets it again as Niagara taking over just when you thought Stony Brook would have something going their way. Vernillo bashed in the boards, and the possession surrendered back to Niagara before it's played again deep in their zone where they control it. Sent in by McCormick. Reganato collecting another save for himself as Stony Brook. Another minute going by here in the third. Legret trying to take over the possession here. Throws the check on Little. A surge of Purple Eagles coming back the other way. Little save. Reganato cleared away by Stony Brook. Legret with a burst of speed. Couldn't do much there that time. Loft leads it forward. Couldn't connect with his intended target as well. And it's further played in by Anastasio. He detours to the bench for a fresh line of jerseys for Stony Brook. 5.5 remaining in regulation. Blocked away that time, and a heavy check thrown further along by Cowan. Angled ahead, missing the stick of Bellinger, but now he's got it on his control! And he rang it off the bar and out of play.
Almost a third strike there for the Purple Eagles. Goes off the crossbar and out of play. Down to 5:15 here in the third period. Stony Brook not able to get much of anything. They got one shot on goal in the last few minutes here. The Purple Eagles have been just absolutely oppressive in the offensive zone, just getting shots on goal and preventing Stony Brook from establishing any kind of breakout.
If you look at the shots on goal where it stands, there's your answer as to how this third period has gone for Stony Brook, being outmatched by Niagara, now 38-28. And interesting enough, Stony Brook was ahead in shots on goal heading into this heading into both the second period and this third period, as Niagara has continued to pile on the numbers against them. Haskins eludes 2 jerseys, takes a hit there as he got it back in the zone. Sent around the wall, Spumeni leads it forward. It will not reach the end boards for icing, however, as Glover takes over once again. Glover from a tough angle, just missing there. Huevos couldn't handle business cleanly. However, Stony Brook still having trouble. They'll get back in a hurry to try to put a stop to McCormick. Poirier doing that. 4 minutes to go in regulation. DeZaro gets a launch out of the zone. Here he comes flying ahead, but lost control of the puck. He takes it back, but not without taking a spill. And Niagara once again has the possession before it's further pushed ahead by the Purple Eagles, who have another chance coming for them in the back door. And Regalado holds on for dear life. And with that, he gets a round of applause from his team.
It's another odd man rush opportunity for Niagara. Another one shut down by Steven Regalado. He's done a pretty admirable job on those. The 2 goals tonight really coming on opportunities that were either just like really strange circumstances, like the puck handling mistake in the first period, or that strange shot in the second.
3.5 to go in the third. Off the draw, Sachka laid it wide as Vernillo takes over once again. Poirier couldn't connect cleanly with his intended target, Hyde. Stony Brook, however, putting pressure in the zone before it's taken back by the Purple Eagles. Sachka saved Regalado. Another save accounted for Steven. That number will soon turn to 40 at some point, or maybe not.
I don't hold your breath. It'll eventually get there.
Cormatic all the way to the net. Makes contact with Dubinsky. I don't know.
Wouldn't that have been a goal there? We saw one of those in those highlight reels. You throw the puck up, smack it down, get around the defender, and then deke the goalie for one.
Certainly.
But not so much for Stony Brook tonight.
How special that would have been if he finished the job there on senior night. Would have added more to the memory book. Score! Cowan, 3-0 Purple Eagles.
Unfortunately, I don't know if Regalado really had a good view of that one, as his defenseman was really just right in front of him, blocking his vision. A good heads-up shot there, knowing that the defenseman's backing up, giving you space, and you rip a shot there, go try to pick the post side there that the goaltender's not really over on, and Regalado not able to get over in time.
And when it seemed like there was any chance of an upset happening, when it was 1-0 game, that is all thrown out the window now.
You could call that one a dagger for the Seawolves for tonight, but from an effort perspective, like I said in the first period, if they lost 1-0, it wouldn't be for a lack of effort or a lack of chances. They've had tons of chances tonight to get one in the net here, or get 2 in the net. But for the Seawolves tonight, you want to finish the game strong here. Think about tomorrow and see what you do to come back and try to pull off an upset against what is a very strong team.
I think one thing that is definitely going to be factored into tomorrow's game is they need to score on the power play. That is, you can't let those opportunities come to you and miss those chances.
I'm going to shorten that statement for you. They just gotta score, whether that's power play, shorthanded, even strength. They've had some opportunities that I can tell you, many of these players would want a second whack at those opportunities, and they would put it in 9 out of 10 times. But for tonight, for the Seawolves, it's been a story of opportunities missed and opportunities saved by heroics. So, I mean, you got to tip your hat to Dubinsky, who's played absolutely incredible tonight. He's got 29 saves in the night with a bunch of highlight reel goal saves.
Valencia fires over the nets as we close in on the final minute and a half of this contest. Loft plays it off the glass, out of the zone, and it gives Trezera and Wenrick chase, as if Wesco doesn't have anything to do with it. Lucas Fancy played it over. The Purple Eagles. No signs of them tired. If anything, more energized than ever. They'll be riding on a wave of ecstasy going into tomorrow's matchup as we get a penalty called, and this will go against Niagara. Stony Brook's third power play of the evening will begin imminently. Tripping is signaled.
And that one's going to go against
Schneidmiller. And
I believe we're going to get a timeout here from the Seawolves here, as we'll take a quick break here and come back with the Stony Brook Orthopedics Associates power play.
Purple Eagles have their core of players on the ice that will represent the penalty kill unit, whereas Stony Brook brings out Cormanic, DeZaro, Mara, Vernillo, and Wenrick to the fold. We'll try to
convert one here.
Exactly. One goal just to get you warmed up for tomorrow afternoon. Final 45 seconds in the hockey game. And a very subdued senior night for the Seawolves.
Wenrick gets it deep.
Cormanic there for coverage as Vernillo gets a touch on it. And Niagara clears out once again.
Stony Brook absolutely stymied here, and they're going to, and Reginado just doesn't like what he sees here. He's going to stop the play here with 21 and a half to go here. And to say that the air is out of the sails would be an understatement here for the Seawolves.
And ultimately, that was the theme of their major power play back in the second. There's a lot of clears and zone exits for the Purple Eagles, and eliminated all the time that was awarded to Stony Brook to maybe give themselves a shot to get in the hockey game. Fortunately for them, they'll have a chance to maybe rectify tonight's loss with whatever happens tomorrow. They do get a goal, however. A Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates power play goal from Paul DeZaro. Before it's all said and done, it is 3-1.
And the Seawolves, at least they won't be shut out tonight. And on senior night, it's a pretty important one here. It's like going to a teddy bear toss game and getting shut out. You don't want that on senior night.
Not at all. And more importantly, that's his 20th of the season here in game number 29. Points total now goes up to 36. William Cormanic having a chat with Shabbat before the puck is dropped one last time. So Stony Brook does not pick up the win on senior night as Niagara takes game 1 of 2 this weekend, 3-1. Brilliant goaltending from Jacob Dubinsky, who came 2 seconds away from capturing a big shutout victory here on the island. For Stony Brook, however, they'll leave the ice in defeat, but more motivated than ever as they played their hearts out tonight, almost pulling off what could have been a major upset by keeping this game fairly close for all of these for all of this hockey game.
I will say, for the Seawolves here for tonight, this is not a bad result here as you're playing against a team that's, quite frankly, in another world of skill, in my opinion. But Stony Brook came and they showed they could skate with them. A team that, on paper, this should not have been anywhere near as close of a game as it was. Ended up being a relatively exciting game, almost through and through. For the Seawolves tomorrow, if they come back here with that same level of effort here, and maybe they get a little more puck luck in getting pucks through the net, or whoever's defending the net, I should say. Maybe we have a different result tomorrow here. But for the Seawolves, they got to keep their heads up here. A lot of good things to take away from this game here. A couple mistakes to clean up here, and at least they come out of here with a power play goal tonight and show at least they got something on that regard.
So 1 for 3 in that department as Niagara picks up win number 21 this season. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon to cap off the weekend at 1:30 Eastern time.
1:30 puck drop. So
1:30 puck drop. We'll see you then. Mike Calandra, Trevor Magnani, thank you. Good night, and we'll be back for puck drop tomorrow afternoon on LI Sports Network.